Happy New Year! Today, Jay and I are going to talk about who you should be learning from. I mean, of course, it should be us, but no, not really. I mean, yeah, really, but no, but yeah. Anyway, Jay and I help rebelpreneurs raise their mental health so they can have a great business and feel amazing about themselves. We also teach about relationships because we know that our mental health is very affected by our relationships. And we personally have quite a bit of experience with relationships ourselves. However, one of my biggest pet peeves is when a business guru or influencer starts to go outside of their lane and teach us things that they really should not be teaching or know very much about. Like our example, Alex and Layla Hormozi. They are incredible business gurus. They really know their stuff. They're great at business. They are really, really smart. However, they also teach about relationships, but they really don't have very much experience with having successful relationships or failed ones either. And just like Mel Robbins, Tom Bilyeu, and Gary Vee, they kind of start to stray outside of their lane, even though they all teach to stay in your lane and teach what you know. So today, we're going to talk about why some influencers feel the need to teach outside of their lane. Stay tuned till the end so you can learn how you know when an influencer is worth listening to and when they're not. So, Jay, one of the things I hear often in every area is to stay in your lane. What does it actually mean to be in your lane, and why does it matter when you're teaching?
All right, I'm going to answer that fully, but let me flip it back on you first. Because What does it mean to you? What does the phrase stay in your lane mean to you? You use it fairly often.
Well, just like when I'm driving, like stay in my lane, don't veer out and hit the car next to me or the bike rider on the other side.
Sure, but you never signal and shift lanes?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah.
You never take an off-ramp?
Sure.
Get out of the lane entirely?
Yes.
You never go off-road?
Yes. Yes.
So...
Okay, fair enough. Great questions.
So what does it mean to you? Like, what is the pet peeve here?
The pet peeve is if I am branding myself as a business guru and a business influencer, then I should be teaching business and only business. It doesn't mean that you can't pivot and teach something else entirely, but it's a bit weird if you are an influencer that's teaching about business and then all of a sudden you throw in some like relationship stuff. Great, you're in a great relationship that works for you, but you've never been in one outside of that. Like your wife was 23 when you met, so has no life experience before you. You were an entrepreneur for years and years and years that did nothing, did not date or do anything, was practically homeless, and all you did was focus on making money. So neither of them have any experience to be swerving in another lane.
Okay, but does it bother you that the band Rage Against the Machine sometimes gets called rock and sometimes gets called rap?
No.
But they're clearly swerving outside their lane. Like, it sounds like you just don't like when people don't fit the category they've chosen or been put into.
So we've pivoted a million times, right? We know what it's like to pivot and do other things. What's one of the main thing that we teach new entrepreneurs is to pick a niche and stay in their niche. And you can niche out later. You can expand that later. And maybe that's what they're doing, but it just doesn't feel like that's true. So yeah,
So it's a feeling?
Well, if you look at their content, so I've researched them and I know a lot of their content, it's mostly business. And it's for every 10 business posts, then they throw in a relationship one.
So then what's the big deal?
Because they shouldn't be talking about relationships.
At all, ever, on planet Earth?
No, I guess they can.
1 in 10.
They made a video yesterday. They actually, at the time of filming, where they answer a bunch of relationship questions about their own relationship, which was fine. I don't care. But it's when they start trying to teach other people how to have a relationship is when I get annoyed.
Right. So it sounds like, to you, stay in your lane doesn't apply to bands, but does apply to teachers.
Yes. My math teacher trying to teach me home economics, I'm not going to listen.
Right. So why does this matter?
Because it bugs me.
Sure, but why can't I learn a bit about rap from a rock band?
Okay, so I want to make it perfectly clear before people start shitting on me in the comments, right? I am aware that people can be skilled at multiple things. I'm skilled at many, many things that I don't ever share here on this channel. But if I was going to share them, I would make a new channel and share them on that channel. And so I think that there's a problem in the world in general where people think because I like someone or they're good at one thing, that they're skilled and good at the other thing because it's just an automatic thing. And so I might be wrong. I don't know. Like, this is just about what bugs me and what annoys me. And because I don't want other people looking at any content, regardless of who it is, and thinking these people know everything because they're good at one thing, right? And so this is my pet peeve. This is what bugs me. And why does it matter? Is because I care about the audience. I care about what people are learning and who they're learning from. It doesn't have to be me. I was joking when I said, oh, like learn from us. That's not even the whole point of this episode. It's really for people to think about the people who are influencing them. Kim Kardashian, if you want to learn about social media and branding and selfies and like how to get divorced a bunch of times, like she's the one to learn from. But if you want to learn like, how to make a 3-layer cake or how to change the brakes on your bike, I'm not going to her channel, So this is why it matters to me.
Yeah, I love it. It sounds like you're just really passionate about people learning in high value, optimal, healthy ways, and you don't like it when they learn in low value, suboptimal ways.
Right. Because I think that teachers who are outside of their lane and teaching things that they don't really have that enough experience teaching, they could hurt other people. And like, okay, yeah, it's a relationship. You could get hurt anyway. The other person could cheat on you, whatever. That's not really the point. The point is that like you are a jack of all trades. There's pretty much nothing that I've ever brought to you that you didn't know. But if you didn't, you'd say, I don't really know about that. I can't really answer that.
Like archery?
I challenged you pretty much. I picked a topic I knew nothing about, and you like learned about it in 5 seconds, but like really quickly. And you were able to answer questions and speak the lingo and like really be insightful, right? However, this is part of my like issue, right? So other people can quickly look on Google and read some stuff, spout it out onto a video, and then other people take their word for it because, oh, they're really good at business, or they're really good at parenting, or they're really good at fashion or whatever. So I'm going to listen to this about this subject. When, dude, it's not your lane. Like, that'd be like you coming on here and going, I'm going to teach you guys all about archery and how to begin. Like, what?
Well, that could be insightful, though.
You could. You could, like, for me, the whole point of that challenge was, oh, wow, I can really learn anything really super fast. And I could teach it to other people, but if I haven't done it, I shouldn't. And hold on, I want to add something here. Sorry, I just thought of it. Alex Hormozi, one of the things he teaches a lot is do not take advice from somebody who hasn't done the thing you want to do, right? Okay, but he's like, you're teaching relationships. Okay, great. You met a chick on Tinder and you guys became business partners and you married her, but you've never had any other kind of relationship. So what the hell? I'm
just saying, I'm glad I flipped the question around on you because it sounds like you know what stay in your lane means and why it matters.
Yeah. I never thought of it that way, and I never really questioned myself that way to answer those questions, to be honest with you. But yeah.
Well, great job. I'm glad you're so passionate about people learning correctly.
Thanks. Because I'm a teacher, so I want other people to learn from good teachers. Okay, well, I guess I answered the first question. So I'm not saying here either, by the way, that like you and I are the greatest teachers in the world. We have room to improve. Everyone has room to improve. And I just want people to think about who they're learning from. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next question. Okay, so one of the things that annoys me about when people are outside of their lane teaching is experience. But here's where it's like weird for me, because you've taught me that my experience is super limited, right? And this goes for everybody, right? We all have a very limited experience, even if it feels like we know so much and we've experienced so much. And yes, I've gone through a lot of relationships. I've been divorced twice. I've had multiple encounters and relationships with other people. I've had my heart broken and I've broken other people's hearts, right? But I'm still not like teaching people 100% my experience only because I'm an individual. We're all different people, right? So all that to say, how much does experience really matter when you're teaching?
Yeah, it's a good question. Some people swear experience is all that matters and you should be learning from someone who has the exact experience that you want. I think Alex Hormozi himself says that. Other people say if you understand something, the principles of something at their core, you can teach them to anyone, anywhere, anytime, anyhow, without any experience at all, because you're teaching foundational principles that are independent of experience. Like, if I'm teaching someone that adding heat to edibles cooks them, and that if you go do this to any edible, you're gonna end up with cooked food, I don't really need experience to teach this principle.
Right.
Plus edible equals cooking. So do I need experience? And some people might argue, well, that's drawing on the experience of your ancestors and many, many people from before. But is it though? Like, then isn't everything experience? And so anyone can teach anything because we're all drawing on the experience of our ancestors. It gets silly, right? Like,
I also think it depends on the topic too.
But does it though? Foundational principles exist in every topic. And if you're teaching from foundational principles, it's going to turn out.
Okay, so if you're teaching a cooking class, you, not me, you, who only has a basic knowledge of cooking, right? And you go in and you say, I'm only going to teach you these fundamentals of cooking, but I have no experience actually cooking, multiple course meals for lots of people the way my partner does, but I'm going to teach you the foundations.
But even a master chef can do this. Like, adding heat to edibles is cooking.
Sure, yes.
Adding more heat will cook faster. Adding less heat will cook slower.
Yes.
What if I want to get a special texture on my flambe? You should adjust how fast and slow you heat the food.
Right.
And again, I'm teaching it without any experience. These are just principles.
But if you tell someone this, then they know it. So to me, it comes back to, as always, being authentic and being really who you are. So if you're sharing the truth, that's fine.
Yeah, I get it. But your question wasn't about who's representing themselves well and authentically. Your question was, how much does experience matter? And so how much does it matter? Some people only want to learn from people who had the exact experience in this lifetime that they're looking for. Other people are just happy to learn from someone who's a master of the foundational principles and can apply them anyway, anyhow.
Okay, but if I'm trying to learn to scale my business to $3 million a year, I'm going to go to the Hormozis because they've done it. This is what they do. That's their thing. But if I'm looking for the fundamentals of cooking or the fundamentals of a relationship, it ain't going to be them.
Well, maybe, but the Hormozis have built bigger businesses than I have.
That's what I'm saying.
But who do you think understands business more?
Oh, I know you do. I know you do.
So what's up with that? How could I possibly understand business better than these?
Because you've helped other people build businesses like that, even if you personally haven't done it yourself, but you have helped other people get there. So like your experience is, I can help other people do this.
But, some people would argue that doesn't count. It's not real enough experience.
But if you're selling that I can help you build a $3 million company or more because I've done it for this, and this person, people, whatever. That's one thing. But if you come in there and are like, I can teach you this because I know it, because I've done it, and this is different.
I'm not arguing with you.
No, I know.
I'm just trying to answer your question. And it's like, now there's some degree of experience matters and some counts, but others don't. And direct experience matters, but
this is my confusion.
Indirect experience doesn't matter. And foundational principles taught by a master chef, like, who gets everything, is better or worse than having experience. Because a master chef can teach how to make a dish they've never made before.
Yes.
That's how good they are. That's how well they know the foundational principles.
They're a master chef.
But I would trust that master chef to teach the dish he's never made before.
So I would too. I would go to Gordon Ramsay and say, like, okay, maybe, I don't know if he has or not, but you've never made empanadas like my mother. He teach me how. And I would trust that he would go to my mom and learn from her and be able to teach me, you know?
Yeah, there's a series on Bon Appetit, the YouTube channel, called Making XYZ from Taste.
Okay.
And they blindfold the chef, I forget his name, Chris, I think, and he like feels it and tastes it and then recreates it.
I would like that.
And he's amazing. He gets like a 90% accuracy because this man understands the foundations of food and cuisine and chefing and whatever, right? Like,
it's actually one of my favorite parts of Hell's Kitchen is where he blindfolds the chefs and he has them taste and say what the, and almost all the time, the better chefs on the show have an incredible palate and do really well in that challenge.
Yeah. Now, having some experience with a dish is usually helpful. Like,
yes,
they're going to be even better.
Right.
But is it necessary for them to teach it?
Okay. So their experience of most of their adult life has been cooking, right? Creating new dishes, working with food, touching it, tasting it. I would trust this experience, even if their experience isn't exactly in the department. I would trust the experience in the rest of that realm that they could nail it. And then I would even put money on that bet.
Right. So what if someone's lifetime experience is just in teaching in general? Like, not cuisine, but in teaching. If they're good at teaching and understanding and clarity and clarifying and insight and explaining in general, would they not be able to do that with any topic?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And even someone like me, who I don't like math. It's my least favorite subject. I really struggle with it. But even I know that I could do that better than some people who've never taught anything a day in their life. I could pick that topic up and teach it. Now, it couldn't be like, AP
calculus.
Yeah, but I could teach like, little kids and stuff. I'd be all right. Calculus. Yeah, I don't know. So, yeah. But because I'm a good teacher and I've taught lots of other subjects to lots of different age groups too, that I think that I would do really well with that. So I don't think Alex and Leila are lifelong teachers that could teach anything, but you are.
Thank you. My point really is just trying to get to the bottom of how much experience matters. You started out saying it matters a ton.
Yeah.
Or it matters to you. And now my question is, how much though? Does it?
So
sort of?
I really liked your example of the chef, right? So the chefs have never made an empanada in their life, but they've made all that other stuff. They're chefs. They understand the quality of food, the way flavors meld.
The core principle.
Yeah, they know all that backwards and forwards, and they probably could cook blindfolded in a kitchen. The majority of the ones who dedicate their life to this, yes. But I wouldn't go to them asking relationship advice.
But presumably they've all been relating to other humans the majority of their life as well.
We all have, yeah.
So then...
And I still wouldn't go to them for that.
But I'm saying, like...
But their experience in life of having relationships with family and friends and maybe a couple of like partnerships or whatever, fine. But I'm still not going to go to them for relationship advice. So this is why I asked the question, right? And so I've been torn because, like I said, started this question with, you've taught me that my experience doesn't necessarily matter in the grand scheme of things compared to other people's experience in the world at large.
Yeah, well, what if one of those chefs or one of those relationship people had 100 bad experiences cooking flambe? And now they're like, it's the hardest dish in the world. Don't even bother trying it. I can't teach. This is hopeless, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. Their experience as a lifetime chef is that flambe fails 100 times out of 100. Okay. But that's their experience and they have a lifetime of it. You're going to listen to it? You're going to never cook flambe because they said so?
That's another great example. Probably not. I would want to fail on my own because that's just how I am.
So now all their experience, you're like...
No, I would take their advice though on what not to do. Like I would listen to how they failed.
But maybe the only reason they failed is they're just bitter and cynical and jaded about flambe.
Of course.
And so none of their advice is going to matter.
No.
They're going to say, don't put this temperature. It failed last time I did that. Don't use this science.
You forget something very important though. I am your student. So I know when somebody talks and teaches something that they're putting their beliefs and their feelings and their energy behind it. So if they're putting shitty energy of this is hard and this is,
I know
I'm going to take it with a grain of salt.
But I'm not using you as the example. This is any student trying to learn,
Yes.
are they going to rely on someone who's experienced or are they not?
They will. Yeah.
But you could be relying on someone who has a whole bunch of shitty experiences.
Yeah.
So then how good is experience?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think we're going to be able to have like an actual answer to this question.
That's my point.
So maybe the point is to think about this when you're learning from someone, right? So if I want to learn, like, okay, I want to learn how to flambe. And so I'm going to talk to this chef who says it's impossible. No one can do it. I want to hear his thoughts on it. And then I want to hear the thoughts on the other chef over there
who can do it
that does it blindfolded, and every single one comes out perfection.
And they've never done it before, but somehow they can teach it.
Yeah. So I'm going to listen to both sides and see what I can use from both experiences and keep my mind open to, I might fail a million times like homeboy, or I might be able to crush it like the blindfolded dude over here. So yeah, but how many people, and the reason I brought up I'm your student is because, and this is not a put down for anybody else in any way, shape or form, but like you teach in such a different way. And you've taught me how to be a better student and a better teacher by explaining to me that, one, even though some experience matters, my experiences don't really necessarily matter either. And you've taught me how to think critically. And unfortunately, in this world, there's a lack of critical thinking with a lot of people. I mean, not our audience, because they're amazing and wonderful, and they think so critically. They're here and they know and they love us. But there is a shortage of people who think critically. And this is where my concern is, right? There's lots of smart people in the world who use YouTube and look to advice, and even take people like Alex and Leila with a grain of salt when they talk about other stuff that they don't necessarily know about. And it's like, this video isn't to shit on them in any way at all. Actually, like I said in the beginning, I respect them. They know business. They know their stuff. I follow them and they've helped us. But my issue is the people who believe in them because they're great business teachers, and then go, well, they have such a great relationship, I'm just going to listen to everything they do and go on Tinder and find the one. Like, really? So, yeah. Well, I guess then I have no answer.
No, you
I mean, I do. I was looking for a yes or no, like a black or white answer. And the answer is just a big giant shade of gray. So it really matters more about what's important to me and to think critically, right?
Yeah. Okay. Sometimes experience matters. Sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's better to have someone who has none. Sometimes it's better to have someone who has a ton. You gotta figure it out. Use your critical thinking and.
Yeah, and that's annoying too. No, only because I really want a yes or no answer, a black or white answer, and that's just not how the world works or how life works all the time. So one of the things that most business gurus teach, Alex and Leila also teach, is to stick to your niche, right? So then why don't they?
That is another good question. And once you've seen an influencer or two grow, it usually becomes easy to see why this might happen. So you're starting out on YouTube or Instagram or some social media platform. You're posting in your niche. You get 5 followers, 10 followers, 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000. In the beginning, your comment section had crickets, and then it had a handful of people talking about your niche, because that's why they're there. But as you grew, you got more and more strangers coming and people following just for one video or one piece of content.
Yes.
You have people becoming a fan of you and creating like a online relationship with you, and they're not there for the niche anymore. They're there to know what you think about XYZ. And so what happens to your comment sections now as you're grown?
Oh.
Are all the comments now about your niche?
No, they become more about your appearance and what you're saying and like your relationship and your life and other stuff that have nothing to do with your niche.
So in the beginning, you would put out content in your niche and it would please your audience, and you would see the stats go up on your social media, and you would logically do what? This niche content works, so I'm going to
post more.
Right.
Yeah.
And as that kept happening, you post one personal thing, or if enough commenters ask for you to weigh in on Black Lives Matter or something, you do, right? Because I have a hungry audience and they're
They're asking for stuff.
Right.
Right.
You gonna ignore them?
No.
Are you the kind of person who ignores their audience?
No. No, I don't ignore my audience.
Do you think any of the successful influencers are the kind of people who just ignores their audience?
No, the ones that do ignore the audience don't make that much money.
You probably won't even hear about them.
Yeah.
So then what happens to your next content? What do you put out next?
You're putting out things that the people are asking about and not in your niche. So you're bowing down to the audience and doing whatever they want.
Yeah. And in the beginning, if you give the audience what they want, they're happy, your numbers go up. And so what are you motivated to do next time?
To keep doing the same.
Yeah, you give your audience more of what they want. And if the audience decides they want to hear more about your personal life or more about relationships or more about BLM or more about Trump or whatever the hot topic is, what content is going to go out from you?
Whatever they want, whatever they're asking for, whatever they're watching, whatever they're sharing. Yeah.
Right. And soon you've trained yourself to what?
Listen to whatever they want. Give them what they want.
Yeah. And so now you habitually give your audience what they
ask for.
Yeah. Now, are most audiences intelligent? Are most audiences brilliant?
I mean, except ours. But yeah, for the majority out there, no, they're not.
But that line you just said is exactly what the influencers say about their audiences. So I could say, well, you should ignore your audience. And what's the influencer going to say? Well, not my audience.
Not my audience. My audience is awesome.
I could say you shouldn't listen to some audiences. Some audiences are really not that bright.
Right.
You should ignore them and go back to your niche or whatever.
What originally brought them to you?
The point is, not only have they trained themselves to give their audience whatever they want without even thinking about it or being critical of it, they also sort of defend their audience, right? My audience is special. My audience is better.
Yeah.
And if anyone tries to criticize them, they might even throw the audience up as an argument. Oh, well, I have 10 million followers.
Yeah.
10 million people can't be wrong. So I'm talking about this subject today. You should see my analytics. They eat it up.
Fair play.
I make way more money on videos about topic X or topic Y. That's why I'm outside my niche. How are you going to argue with that? I mean, you can argue with that. It's not a great argument, but to them, it's a great argument. I'm making bank.
Then why don't they pivot and do the thing?
A lot of work. Already got a channel. Everybody's happy. My audience is good.
I'm not happy.
But you see, you get like an audience created habit and an audience created ego.
Okay. That makes sense. I mean, I don't agree with it.
Well, it might happen to you. This happens to almost every successful influencer. Would you like to be a successful influencer?
Well, yeah.
So might you end up going down the exact same path?
No. You know why?
I guess we'll see. We got it on camera.
Well, but we've been pressured to have an opening and to tell people to like and subscribe. We hate that. We both hate that. We hate the long intros. We hate even today's intro. To me, it was kind of long because I normally am like, try to keep it super short because I just want to get into the stuff. And all this time, I've had people tell me, like, send me emails on this. And I'm still like, nope, sorry. So I want to believe in myself and my integrity that I'm not going to bow down to my audience because they came here for a reason and I want to continue to give them what they came for.
Sure. But did you add music to a few episodes at the request of your audience?
I did because I thought it might be interesting to try. Yeah.
All right. And are we going to continue that or are we done with that?
Actually, I haven't thought about it. I haven't even thought about it. Make a good point. Thank you so much for making me look like an asshole on video. That's awesome.
I'm just saying, like, in a year from now, you might be asking people to like, subscribe, and so on.
Ugh, no. But
I don't know.
Yeah.
I can't predict the future.
I know. You're right.
I stay open to being a hypocrite.
I am open to being a hypocrite one day, looking in the camera and being like, y'all, I'm really sorry, but we like.
If your numbers jump up 1 million times, I bet you'll do it.
Oh, man. This is awful. I don't like this.
Well, I don't know what to tell you. This is the life of an influencer. This is what you get into.
Okay.
And they all have to go through it. So you will have to go through it too. Just like being a chef, people have to cut their finger or whatever. Like, it's part and parcel of doing this thing. And you gotta take your lumps and figure out how you're gonna navigate that situation.
All right.
Are you gonna be the world's safest chef? Or are you gonna be some haphazard Wolverine? Are you gonna transform your hands into blades like Edward Scissorhands?
Please, I really would like to.
I'm saying
I would love that.
You can handle things lots of different ways. You can be different from the influencers or you can be just like them. But to act like it's nothing and you'll just make the right choice and you'll stick to all your guns. And
fair play. I have openly
you haven't had experience.
No, you're right. I know in the past that I've had to admit to being a hypocrite.
Me too.
And I'm saying it on camera for everyone to see. I have been a hypocrite many times in my life. And I'm not saying I am better than anyone in any way. And I know that in the future, I may do it again. I may have to come back and be like, guys, I'm so sorry, but please, like and subscribe. I hope not, but I might. I've told you before, like the people who we build our family with, our relationship with, like our business with, they have to have certain things already set in motion for me to even consider working with these people or living with these people or being around these people in any way. And you were like, oh, but you weren't like that in the beginning. And I wasn't. And I said to you, that's okay. I'm totally fine being a hypocrite because I am with certain things. And if I am, I will admit it. I guess my issue sometimes, like my biggest issue with Mel Robbins is she can't admit that she's a hypocrite. Like even her freaking audience is like, she's so perfect and wonderful and knows everything. And there's like video proof all over her channel that she's a hypocrite and a liar, right? So I want to be the best version of me possible. So if I have to go back and admit I'm wrong, I have no problem with that, right? And so you make a really good point, and I won't know the answer. I don't know what the future holds, and I don't know any of that. I mean, I'd like to be the best version of me. So, and I will do my best not to be a hypocrite.
Yeah, I wasn't trying to make this about you. I don't know.
I know,
what that was all about. I just wanted to answer question 3,
yes,
which was about why they go outside their lane.
Right.
And I walk you through the journey of an average influencer, and hopefully now you understand why this happens.
Yeah, I do understand. I never thought about it this way, even when I've seen people grow and change, why they grow and change. And so we've changed our channel to a bunch since we started. It's kind of the same, but not. Like we've used different copy and we've targeted a little bit different and we've niched down a little bit. Like now we're niched down to rebelpreneurs with mental health, but this also includes relationships because it's part of mental health. So like, yeah, all right, I get it. I got you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you and I appreciate everything you've taught me. And 27 of the things you've taught me, we put in this book called Eyes Wide Open, Volume 1. And see, I am not being a hypocrite because I've always been giving this away to you. And we're giving it away to you now in PDF form. It's the world's first self-help coffee table book. And all of the concepts in this book are what Jay used to come out of homelessness and what I used to help my addiction, lose weight, change my life, and be better in multitude of ways, like being happier, more positive, and making more money.
And Isaac bought it for an influencer.
He did.
Shout out to Isaac.
Thanks, Isaac.
And the influencer.
And the influencer, who we won't name quite yet. So go to eyeswideopenfree.com and sign up to get your free copy in PDF form, or go buy it full price because you love us and leave a review. The link is in the description. Okay, so this is the part where I said stay tuned to learn from us about this. Question 4. So, Jay, how do we know which influencer is one that we should learn from?
Well, some people would tell you to learn from people with awesome credentials. Do you think that works?
No.
If I go listen to just anybody with awesome credentials, I'm going to be set?
No.
Other people would tell you to listen to people with tons of experience. Like I said before, what if they've had a bunch of crappy experiences and now they're jaded and cynical and all they have is bad beliefs about the topic?
Fair play.
Am I going to be wise to learn from someone with just lots of experience?
No.
Some people would tell me just to learn from the leader in the field, whoever is most popular, whoever's the most common name, who comes up all the time. Oh, you should learn from so-and-so.
Right.
So is learning from the most famous person the way to get my wisdom, my knowledge?
No.
So those are the 3 main ways someone gets recommended. Someone is looked up to as a teacher to learn from.
Right.
Are there any other ways, or are those the 3 main ways people judge their teachers?
So those are the 3 main ways?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily think they're spot on, though.
No, I think most of them are crap.
Yeah, Okay, good.
But those are the three main ways.
True.
What else do you have to go on?
Your feeling, your intuition.
So this is another way. Might be better or not. I don't know. Maybe you use your intuition in tandem, in combination with the other three ways. But to me, the best way to figure out who to learn from is by results. And I don't mean results for other students. Like, just because they have a million testimonials still isn't the number one way.
Right.
I'm talking about results for you.
Okay.
So if we take two people and they both want to learn to cook, and person A uses the standard three ways to find a teacher. They look at their credibility, they look at their experience, they look at their fame, and like, oh, I'll go learn from them. And they do this because they don't want to waste time trying more than one teacher.
Right.
Okay. But person B is just like, you know what? I don't really care about any of that stuff. I'm just going to try whatever teacher feels good to me. Going to start following their steps a little bit and see how it goes. If I don't like their vibe or how they teach or how the steps are working out for me, I'm not seeing the progress I want, I'm going to drop them and find another one.
Right.
And then I try them and do the same thing with them. And then I do another one and then another one until I find one that gets the results that I wanted and I learned the thing that I wanted to learn. Now I'm an effective cook. Like, maybe not the world's best, I don't know, but I'm happy with my results. Which of these two people, person A or person B, will get better results in finding a good teacher?
Person B.
Why?
Person B. Because I've also used this method for me personally. I hear something and then I go and try it out. You know, when I was doing my marketing masterclass, right? I took one particular thing. I'll use gap selling as an example. Took the lessons from gap selling. And then when I had calls with girls, we were doing OnlyFans at the time, I used the techniques on the calls. And so immediately I got a sale. And then, and not only that, but then it continued with immediately they responded, they did well. It was just more than just the money. It was, wow, they really responded this and they were really open and this worked. Oh my God. And so I continued to use it because of this. But I can't remember now what it was, but there was something else in the book that I tried that didn't feel right and it just didn't work for me. So I took the part that worked for me.
Sure. And so would you have done that if gap selling, the book, wasn't famous, didn't have credibility, and didn't have gobs of experience to back it up?
Well, actually, I never heard of the guy. He didn't even have a last name. You recommended the book. And because you recommended it, I thought I would try it. So to me, none of that other stuff mattered. To me, he was a schmo who, I don't know. I still don't even know if he's famous or not. And I have no idea. I never looked at his socials in my life. So your recommendation was what I based the attempt on. I was like, all right, Jay says to go ahead and try it. I'll go ahead and try it.
Right. So you were person B. You did an experiment and you found a teacher that worked for you.
Yes.
You tried it until you got results.
Yes.
You were happy to try other teachers if necessary.
Yeah. But I've also done like person A,
but that's how you got anxious with Gary Vee.
There's no shade here. Okay. Like this video is about like the reason we did it is because of Alex and Layla. We took Alex's class together. We did a great job. Like we really worked well and we put this juicy offer in and then my results were not.
Got one sale.
Yeah, but because of Keenan, okay? Because of Keenan, not because of Alex Hormozi. So, like, I know they know their stuff. I know. I listen to it. I know enough about business to know they're the real deal when it comes to that stuff. Like, if you want to grow your business, if you want to scale to 3 million or above, they are for you. Yes. However, at the time, he wasn't teaching lead generation. He wasn't teaching outreach. He wasn't teaching anything. He was just teaching me how to make a juicy offer. And the offer was amazing. What he taught me was good. Like, we had a juicy ass offer when we were doing that. But I couldn't move it past the offer. I had to find someone else.
You couldn't even get to the offer.
No, I couldn't because I wasn't in that space. But Keenan was the leads you helped me with because our future project is about outreach and getting leads and things. But it wasn't until I had more of the other teachers that I never heard of or learned about to make the sale. So I said I've been person A and person B. So, and I think for me personally, being person B works better.
Yeah, I think this goes for most people. If you want to find a good teacher, just get out there, experiment, trust your intuition, give it a shot, get burned if you have to, take the results, and you'll find a good teacher.
Yeah. And I think taking other people's recommendations is a wonderful thing, but taking it with a grain of salt. You recommended a bunch of books from people I had never, ever heard of, right? You didn't come at me with Gary Vee, Grant Cardone, Mel Robbins, and Alex Hormozi. You came at me with Mike Michalowicz, that's it, of Forget Different, Keenan with no last name, Jeb Blount, and who was the dude who did the systems? Sam Carpenter. All people I never heard of, but their books gave me results.
Yeah, they're really good.
So, I think when you have to look at the person who's giving the recommendations and make your own decision with a very open-minded and intuitive way.
Yeah, I just boil it down to intuition and experiments. So you find a good teacher.
That's better.
Use your intuition and experiment.
That example just showed how you're a better teacher than me. Because I said a bunch of stuff and you said two words. But you're right, I've never ever sold myself as the better teacher. So yeah, okay. That's great. Super helpful. And so I'd really like to know from you guys, from Rise Rebels, let me know in the comments, are you person A or person B? What have you been in the past? And did it work for you? Were your results awesome? And you're just going to keep following those people that have a great, huge audience or have the credentials you're after or whatever. Or are you open to being intuitive and following your feelings and experimenting with the teachings?
Yeah, because some of the world's best teachers are unknown.
Yeah, they really are.
They're great at teaching. They're not great at marketing. They're not great at getting famous. They're not great at sales. They're not great at persuading the masses. They're great at teaching.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of hidden gems out there. That's all I'm saying.
There are. That's a really good point. Thank you. You're one of them. Now you're way more out in public than you were when we met. When we met, you were kind of hidden. And I'm super grateful that I found you because I've learned from the best. Out of all those people that I mentioned that I've learned and I've gotten great results from, you are still at the top of that list. And that's not because we're in a relationship. It's just facts, man. I really need to sit down and make the list of all the things you've taught me so I can share this with the world because I don't have time to sit here on YouTube and tell everybody everything because the list is huge. So you're the best. I love you. Thank you so much. All right. So Matthew Hussey, I believe is how you pronounce his name. He's the leading expert on relationships right now. He's one of the most popular ones. He's got the credentials, blah, blah, blah. And I've watched some of his stuff and it's pretty sound advice for the most part. And he recently just got married. So congrats, Matthew. I think it's weird that people who are following Alex and Layla for business advice look at them and go, I'm going to listen to them instead of Matthew Hussey, who his entire life and everything is about relationships and helping people in the relationship. Instead, I'm going to look at Alex and Layla. Yeah, they might have what some people want. We have something similar. We have a relationship based on business in a partnership, and we are business partners and life partners, hetero life partners. It's from Jay and Silent Bob. But anyway, so I understand why an entrepreneur or solopreneur looks at a relationship like theirs and wants something similar. But why wouldn't they go to somebody like Matthew, who really knows about all areas of relationship, and not just areas of relationship, how to get a man or woman?
Yeah, great question. This mostly comes down to lazy students.
Okay.
Yeah, often you take issue with the teachers out there, but this is kind of an easy target. Famous people doing things in the public eye who haven't done it exactly the way you think it should be done, or they got sloppy kind of with it, or they had some flaws or quirks or negative issues with it, is understandably an easy target.
Sure. Yeah.
But is it possible that they're just out there putting out the value they best know how and doing their thing in public, okay with whatever haters or people who think they're doing it wrong? Meanwhile, a bunch of lazy students who won't think critically about what they're taking in and who just naively believe anything they hear from a person they like is a much bigger issue in the world.
That's a really good point.
Because there will always be people putting out value in public who might be getting something wrong, but they're still out there providing value. They've put a lot of good out into the world. and they've taught a lot more students and done a lot more things than most people.
Right.
And so even if they got it a bit wrong, isn't it up to every student to sort that out? Like, all people can do is put themselves out into the public market, in the public eye, and let people sort it out. Let the market sort it out. Let buyer beware. Let their numbers tell them if they're doing wrong. If everyone boycotted all the crappy teachers, would they smarten up? If they lost all their viewer retention and all their audience watch time and all their ad dollars and all their money and all their fans? So if a bunch of students just said, you know what? I'm tired of these crap teachers teaching shit they shouldn't be teaching. We're not tuning in. We're unsubscribing. We're not watching. We're leaving. Then what happens to all the teachers out there?
Then they have to reevaluate how they're teaching.
And how do they
doing?
And how have they always responded to negative numbers?
They freak out.
And they change.
And they change something.
How did they get to where they are? They followed the positive numbers.
Yes. And so it makes sense for the opposite to be true as well. Okay. Fair play.
So if we're not thrilled with the level of influencers or the level of gurus or the level of experts or how clear they are or how insightful they are or how well they teach or whatever, whose fault is it? Theirs for following the numbers and giving people what they want, or the students for buying into their crap and never boycotting them, ever?
Yeah, actually, you make a really good point. That's a great question. Yeah, so it's y'all's fault. Next video is about all of you.
No, our audience is
I'm just kidding.
smarter, right?
Okay, so the next video that I get annoyed with people, I'm just going to have to yell at the audience then instead of the actual guru, yeah? Okay, so it makes 100% sense what you just said to me.
So that's why they go to Alex and Layla instead of Matthew Hussey.
Yeah.
It's easier. They're already in my feed. I already like them. I already have a relationship with them. They're already fun. I like the Hormozis. I want a business couple like that too. Matthew Hussey doesn't have that. Like, very little critical thinking, right?
Yeah.
These are, so we live in a world of information, of attention, of ideas. Mm-hmm. And so our marketplace is no longer really about products. It's about brands. It's about people. It's about ideas. It's about these things. So what does the market support? What does the market want? What do buyers want? What are buyers hungry for? Witty, charming influencers who are attractive, and they don't really care about the quality of teaching or the wisdom or the insights. They don't really care if they get results. They don't really care about anything except they had a fun person in their feed. This is what the market wants. They don't want to go look for other people. They don't want to hunt around. They don't want to assess people. They don't want to review people. They don't want to experiment with different influencers. They don't want to find the hidden gem teachers.
I think it's too much work.
They just want fun, popular people spoon-fed to them.
Yeah.
So if that's what the market wants, that's what the market gets.
Right.
If a country is unhappy with their leaders, they can revolt. It's happened many, many, many times in history.
Right.
And it sends a message.
True.
If consumers are unhappy with a product, they can boycott.
Yes.
And if students are unhappy with the quality of teaching or wisdom out there or the gurus, they can just not follow, not subscribe, not listen, not tune in.
Yeah, fair enough.
But do we? Does anyone? Do we revolt? Do we fix our country? Do we boycott a brand? Do we unsubscribe from these less than ideal experts?
Most of us don't. No.
So then it'll have no impact.
I did yell at Layla and Alex once. I didn't yell at them. I just commented on one of their relationship things and told them to stay in their own lane. But, they didn't reply, which is fine. I don't care. I wouldn't reply to me either. That was kind of rude. And I was annoyed in the moment. But it's true because most people aren't using their critical thinking and they're just entertained. You can tell by the comments on all their posts. They're either repeating what they said in a different voice or way or saying things about their appearance or whatever. So, yeah. All right. That makes total sense.
Yeah. So if everyone's fine with knockoff Prada bags, then the market will be flooded with knockoff Prada bags.
Right.
Gross.
Yeah. All right.
People are fine with what they're fine with, man. You have the power. You can raise the next generation to have more critical thinking and to be more disciplined and have higher integrity about who they listen to and when and why. Did you raise that next generation?
No.
So then we're going to get another wave of this, right?
Right. All right. Well, we all fucked up, y'all.
It's never too late.
It's okay. Yeah. Like I said before, the point of this video really is for you guys to think critically about who you're learning from. It doesn't have to be us. It can be anyone out there who resonates with you. And I just really want you to think about the people in your feed, the people who you follow. Do they make you feel good? Do they make you feel bad? Why do they make you feel good or bad? And is this enhancing your vision of yourself for the future? Does it give you results, actual results? Because I don't know about who you follow. I just know that when it comes to my own personal life, and since this podcast is about us, basically, there's only one person that's ever taught me an incredible amount of things that gave me real, genuine results, and that was Jay. And I don't say this because he's my partner and I love him. And yeah, that's great. But before any of that happened, I was a student. And the things he taught me were just incredible, next level. And if you really, really want to learn how to have a better mental health for business or for life or relationships, then I highly recommend going back to episode 1 and watching them all. Because even if the entire episode isn't for you, I promise you there's a gem in each and every single one that he spoke. Trust me, the reason why we have this podcast is because I saw the hidden gem that other people were sleeping on and other people weren't seeing and other people were hiding for their own personal use. Sorry, Annabelle, but that's what you were doing. And so I'm here to share that with you. So you can choose to learn from us, or you can choose to learn from somebody who has millions and millions of followers who really isn't going to move you, your life, your mental health, your business, your relationships forward. It's up to you. We love you anyway, either way, regardless. Thank you so much for everything that you have taught me in the last 5 years, everything that you've taught me in the last year on this podcast, because I have learned a lot and it's there for everyone to see on our channel. And I'm super grateful. You are incredible and I love you every single way that's possible to love a human. I love you.
You're awesome. I love you too.
Okay. So I just have one more question. Do you have any final thoughts that you would like to share with our wonderful and amazing and very smart and critical thinking audience?
I feel like this was the you episode, the you show. So you said it all. Maybe just Happy New Year. You guys got this.
Yay. Happy New Year. And there's nothing wrong with it being the me show because I am awesome. And that's why our book and this podcast are called Eyes Wide Open. After today, you'll know that most influencers need to stay in their own damn lane. Okay, maybe not.
Or students need to pay
Or
attention.
students need to pay attention.
Or both.
Or both. So now you can go here to this video called Gary Vaynerchuk is Wrong because Content is Not King, to help you keep your eyes wide open. Happy New Year.
Keep rising.